I am excited because we are about to have our second guest. But before we kickstart the conversation and get to know how she does it all, she's literally a superwoman. Let's have a look at this report. We'll be right back.
In any human organization, the welfare and the rights of the individuals are paramount to the growth and well-being of the organization. Through the strategies and policies of the organization, the individuals are to work within the remit of the organization in order to maximize the profitability of the company as well. That is when a human resource manager comes in. According to V.R.A and Rule 2006, human resource management is defined as a system of activities and strategies that focus on successfully managing employees at all levels of an organization to achieve organizational goals. Employees are the human resource of an organization and its most valuable asset. Therefore, the human resource manager manages employees of a company to achieve the goals of the company. Curiously, women are dominant in this field. According to Namely's 2018 Workplace Diversity Report, 67% of HR professionals are female. What drives women to do human resource management? Is it because of their nurturing abilities? Let's get more insight into the life of an accomplished HR person. So our guest tonight is an accomplished HR manager. Dr. Mrs. Irene Stella Agyenim-Boateng has 35 years of working experience. Currently, the Deputy Chief Executive, Volta River Authority, has served in the capacity of human resource in many companies including V.R.A, Glyco, and Vodafone Ghana. A member of the Ghana Employers Association, Dr. Agyenim-Boateng serves as a resource person for the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration and many others. She has more than 15 awards to her name, including Human Resource Practitioner of the year 2015-2016 and Most Outstanding Corporate Executive in Human Resource 2015. And have served on many boards. Inducted into the Ghana Feminine Hall of Fame in 2019, Dr. Stella Agyenim-Boateng has a Doctor of Business Administration from the Swiss Business School. Welcome, Dr. Agyenim-Boateng.
Dr. Stella Agyenim-Boateng in the building. Thank you so much for joining us, ma'am.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for honoring our invitation. And you are an achiever. Tell us how you do it.
Good evening to all the viewers. And just let me start by saying that it doesn't come by chance. Neither is it, does it come on a silver platter. Because in this world, there are so many competing elements that are, demanding our attention, family, work, school, doing God's work, so many things. But I believe that primarily I'm where I am, first and foremost, the God factor, the grace of God, and I'm very serious about that because that is why I am who you think I am. And I think family support has been another great factor. The fact of being purposeful, a lot of sacrifices along the way, and trying to live by principles and values, being resilient, and learning from others who have already, gone the way that I am going. And so all these factors put together have really brought me thus far. And I'm very grateful to God. I'm grateful to my family and for the opportunities that I've had, in my career. And the fact that I've had people that, I've had to cry, shoulders I've had to cry on. And in all, God has been good. And I'm here.
Oh, but why HR?
I think that for me, if I consider my life generally, growing up and all that, I've always had a passion for people-centered activities. I've always had a passion for communication, opportunities that gives me the opportunity to communicate. I've always had a passion for supporting people, conflict resolution, trying to share opinions, receive opinion, teach. All those things that have people at the center have always been a passion. And so I believe that I went into HR with that personality And so I really love HR. I love it. And that, I think my upbringing contributed immensely to my profession.
Wow. You sound so passionate about HR. Did you have a mentor in the field?
I wouldn't say so,
Okay.
in the sense of structured mentorship.
Okay.
I would say that perhaps, again, I'll go back to my growing up. I think that the kind of mentorship that I'll call it today mentorship was quite informal.
Okay.
It was unintentional and semi-structured.
Okay.
And the key people who come to mind whenever I talk about my kind of mentorship, I'll talk about my grandmother, and I never stop
Nice.
talking about her anywhere I have the opportunity. She was not lettered, but she believed in, trying to make me somebody who would love people, understand the diverse nature of, people, somebody who would understand culture, our environment, respect people, basically fit into society.
Yeah.
And I really got that from her. Anytime, any opportunity, I realized that she was, giving me that kind of orientation. The other person was my mom. My mom was a professional secretary. So from the work side, or from the corporate side, work ethics, the dynamics of work, and that sort of thing, I think I got that, also from her. And of course, from senior people that I had, through my career, I've worked with a lot of senior people, and they have been so instrumental in guiding me, giving me feedback, and, kind of helping me to, do the journey. And I think that they've all been very good to me. If I want to talk about, structured mentorship, that may not be the case. But I believe that when I put all these together, I'll say that I've been mentored in a certain way, not the very formal. And so for me, one thing that I do is to continuously mentor, the young ones. And I love that. I
was going to ask you that since you've had so much mentorship through experience, I was going to ask if you have something of the sort. So that's great. And how do you manage your position, such a big position at Volta River Authority? How do you manage it, especially being a woman?
I've had this question many times. But one thing that I say is that I have a certain principle or philosophy, whatever you want to call it, that says that I always tell myself that the world of work and acquisition of knowledge are no respecter of gender.
Great.
They are genderless. And so I do not allow my femininity to impede my hunger to stay relevant. I always make sure that I'm going in with something that I have, competence, knowledge, the opportunities that are available, and how well I can take advantage, as it were, of them by preparing myself adequately every time, improving, the learning, and also to making sure that, certain principles are followed. Prioritization, understanding the business that you are in, understanding the value that you bring to the business, making sure that the business is getting, value for having employed you. And so I don't go in thinking I'm a woman and therefore I need to be favored. I need to have it easy. If it is tough, it is tough for me. And the reason why I'm there is because it is tough and I have to fix it. If it is easy because perhaps I've prepared myself enough, to carry it through. And so because of that kind of mindset, I do not consider my being a woman as an impediment. I see myself as somebody who has certain skills by God's grace, and those are the skills that, in quote, I am selling. That's it.
But what about the view of the people? You as a person see yourself as someone coming in with the skills, the training, the knowledge. But what about the people receiving you? I mean, looking at the society, it's not always so easy
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
women. So how do you handle that as well?
It gets tough sometimes. Oh, it's been tough, very, very tough before. I mean, yes, sometimes, people will see you, they are looking for this person. Maybe now I think it's quite okay.
Yeah.
But I remember when I started several years back, when I took my first directorship position in a big, corporate entity, and, people felt, no, you were too young. People felt you were a woman.
Exactly.
And are you able, or will you be able to do it? And so people will even want to walk past you because they are looking for your boss. They are looking for the holder of that position. And they cannot accept that it's you. Sometimes, you have some micro inequities. Yeah. You have people making comments, and sometimes people wanting to take decisions for you because they feel you're a woman. Oh, this is not for women. You can't do this. Or, why don't you allow a guy to do that? But I think that for us as women, one key thing that we always expect, especially for career women, professionals, you do not want the decision to be made for you. Yeah. Put the cards on the table. Tell me that this is the job that is available. These are the skills that are required. Let me tell myself that I'm capable of doing it. Or let me tell myself that, look, I'm a nursing mother. I don't think I can take it. That decision should be mine and not. So we've gone through a lot, innuendos, etc. And sometimes it feels as if, if you are not, and that is why people will think you must be tough as a woman.
Yes.
Not so tough as saying, but you must be emotionally intelligent to know when to even respond to some of those innuendos, when, to let it go, when to, share your opinion and speak up and let them know that you are bringing a skill as equal as that of any other person, be it a man or a woman, and not just your femininity.
Yeah. But research shows that even in the human resource, there's more women taking those positions than even men. Yeah. So would you say that because of those attributes, women have become more open-hearted or stronger to handling that? Because you need to be extra strong to handle extra backlash from society. So would you say, or in your opinion, what would you say is the reason for this phenomenon?
Why a lot of women are in HR?
Yeah.
I want to believe that it is how HR itself as a profession evolved. Yes. So HR, the history, HR started basically as a welfare, kind of concept at the workplace. And then it moved to personnel management. When you look at all that, you're talking about welfare of people, you're talking about rules and regulations, you're talking about sanctions and recognition, patting people on the back. You are talking about, getting to run the organization like a home where the mom is there, whips you a bed and pats you and provides for you. So I think women have that natural flair. Yeah. And so I want to believe that that is a reason a lot of women, it became, naturally where women perhaps, wanted to be. Yeah. But I think that from the time that, personnel management moved on, and now we have human resource, which is a strategic part of the business, the core, the center of the business, because the competitive edge that any organization has is this human resource. Yeah. I mean, if it's about products, you can always pick it on the shelf and just, tweak it a little to suit your situation and sell it to your customers. But you need the right culture. You need the right people who are going to turn this environment, turn your product, let your customer be happy so that the customer stays with you. So if any organization has a competitive edge, it's human resource. And so since HR became professionally very acceptable as a core part of their business and a strategic partner of the business, and again, for the fact that HR today is not seen just as an art, but it's both an art and a science, where we are using data analytics to take decisions and all that. I think that I see a lot of men, coming into that space, and it's quite interesting. It's encouraging because it's becoming a lot more balanced.
Yeah.
Maybe the women population might still be slightly
More,
higher,
yeah.
but I think that we have a lot of men in HR today, and that is quite interesting. It gives it a good balance, right? Because HR today is not just welfare. I mean, those are hygiene factors that you still need to run, but the key decision making around every business is its people, and that is what we do.
Now, talking about HR today, I mean, technology has evolved. We've had some economical crisis, COVID hit us from last year. We're still dealing with all of that. How would you say these factors have affected HR?
Okay.
First technology and then the economical issues we've had.
Okay. So when we talk about technology, I say that technology rules the world.
Yeah.
But it is people who make it happen.
Yes.
Without people, technology in itself cannot do anything. And so for us in HR, we play a double role. We still have the people factor where we are aligning the people to the business, and we are still carrying technology to drive that agenda.
Amazing.
And so it is a double do for us. And today, with COVID, even before COVID, most organizations started trying virtual platforms, HR systems, information systems, trying to get data to back decision making. But with COVID, it has even, the need for technology has increased beyond anybody's imagination. Today, from end-to-end HR processes or people experience, is all virtual. You want to resource, you want to recruit today, the world is your market. The world is your talent pool. You can, resource from any corner of the world, sitting in the comfort of your office or your home. And through technology, you get to know, the right talents, you interview them, and even when you have, employed them, they could, through technology, be working so remotely that you never may have met, but he or she is your employee. And again, with remote working, because of COVID, technology has become, the thing for us. Virtual online training. Now, most of the training where in-person training has reduced considerably, but we are still training and developing people. Yeah. How are we doing that? Through technology. And, again, technology has helped young parents, for instance, who were struggling to either decide to work or, to be sit-home moms because, they didn't know how to leave their babies at home, they didn't have support, etc. Today, they are part of the pool because if so long as they have the talent and you need their skills, they can sit at home taking care of babies and still working, and through the power of technology. And so I think that technology has really been very, very useful for us in HR. It's made our work, I wouldn't say easy, it's made it very complex, but it's made it, very relevant in the current situation that we have. Working from home policies, and all sorts of things, but work is still, going on. And I think that technology has really been very helpful in our environment and in our profession. I mean, with COVID, it's been a kind of situation that there is a SWOT analysis that we've tried to derive out of this whole COVID situation. There are so many positives. I mean, sometimes we talk about it, and obviously it's like doom and gloom. Yeah. But there are so many positives. Like I just told you about, young parents who have to be home, still working, earning some income, taking care of home. And that is great. That is a good positive. We are using technology a lot more. So, maybe data accuracy is a lot higher and all that. We are getting, as it were, talents from everywhere, and we are increasing productivity through efficiency and all that. But of course, there are certain elements that COVID has also brought to bear on the organization and on our people, where now some people had solace in meeting each other at work. Now you have to be home. Now it's even getting better, but in the thickest of things, you have to be home, and people have all kinds of environments that may not necessarily be the best for them. So there are people, mental health, for instance. mental wellness was very, key in the times of COVID. And sometimes even managing as a leader, managing your team who are working from home, can be very challenging.
Yes.
Reaching them could be a problem. And then a lot of resources, organizations would have rented or, had office space so huge. Now you don't have people working in there. You are paying bills, So all these things are challenges that COVID brought. But the opportunities are that today going forward, I believe that even when there is no COVID and everything by God's grace is fine, I'm sure that we will still stick to certain opportunities that we've derived from this situation.
Yes.
And it is important that we admit that it hasn't all been, very gloomy. But the threats around the whole COVID, people lost their jobs, people had to be home without, assurance of tomorrow in terms of job and where the next income was going to come from. All those, were threats that really we as HR people had to deal with. And that is where, it became very challenging, very, very complex. Because you ask yourself, are you dealing with your own challenges or you have to deal with the challenges of your employees? And so the COVID situation, yes, it's had an impact, but I think that it's made HR even much stronger, much more relevant in our scheme of things today.
Wow. I have learned so much, and looking at the fact that you talk with passion and you talk about the details of work as an HR personnel, you've made HR very, very broad and more understanding for us. But before we continue, we'll go on a quick commercial break, and when we are back, I have a surprise for you. Now, how do you link or move from being an HR personnel or director to being a motivational speaker?
I don't think there's so much difficulty for me, being an HR person and being a motivational speaker. And I say this because for me, as an HR professional, your day job is motivating people to deliver. I mean, no matter how difficult the situation is, how, the challenges, resources of any organization is never enough to, go around or make anybody feel, like that. But you as an HR person, you have to create a situation, an environment where the people want to deliver, want to, produce, want to give the results, even when they don't have it all. And that is when you talk about efficiency, you're talking about effectiveness and all the, the jargons. And so translating that to be a motivational speaker is just saying that now you are packaging what you do every day to deliver to a particular set of people based on their needs. And so for me, when I stand up to speak to any group of people, it is about telling what you do and how that you have done it, how that has helped you. So your experience using your communication skill, packaging, your emotional intelligence to make sure that you know your audience and you know what they need, and then giving it back to them, telling about, perhaps the mistakes that you have made that they can skip if, they should. So basically, lay bare your life for others to take advantage of. And that is what motivational speakers, do. So for me, that transition,
it's quite easy.
It comes as a matter of course because I'm an HR professional. You are every day motivating people using various channels. And so motivational speaking becomes a channel of getting people to accept that they can do it in spite of challenges that they may be encountering.
Great. Now, as an HR director, you're handling a lot of people, having the emotional intelligence to handle their emotions, how they relate to productivity and all of that. Now, let's look at you as a person. How do you juggle all of that? Everybody's issues you're handling at work with your own personal life. How do you manage that?
So maybe to even make it, is the fact that today with the position that I hold, I'm actually looking after 7 departments. HR is just one of them.
Wow.
And so it becomes even more complicated, a lot more demanding, but I believe that every woman is a juggler.
Yeah.
No matter, what level of it is. I mean, assuming you are even a typical home mom and you have children, different temperaments, different needs. I mean, you have to juggle to make sure that you are sorting them out. Yes.
Yeah.
But, coming to the question, I again have quite a number of principles, and I always share these. Again, I believe that what sets the best apart from the rest is mindset.
Great.
And so it's your mindset that makes you think that juggling is difficult, is a challenge. It's that same mindset that will make you think that being a juggler is possible because others have done it. Yeah. And if you have an open mind, you accept situations, you just ask yourself, what can I do about it? How do I set my priorities? What kind of attitude do I need to have so that I can attract support? And if you do that, obviously, you have opened yourself, your mind up to receive help and to be able to do it. Instead of accepting that every challenge you are going through, it's enormous, And if you have a closed mind, it becomes difficult.
Yes.
And I say that, the only person who has the key to open that closed mind is the owner of that mind. Nobody else can open it for you because you hold the key. And so what you tell yourself is your mind will play the games on you. So, I have an extensive network, professional network, and, family network. You need support, you have to, tap into that network. Okay. I'm a member, a proud member of the Executive Women's Network, EWN, and, you see other women in the corporate world who are all jugglers, and we are all doing it. Yeah. So, sometimes you ask, how did you do this? Where can I find that? You have a family, and a family that is supportive. Professionally, again, I'm a fellow of the Institute, Chartered Institute of Human Resource Practitioners, Ghana. You need some professional support, or somebody needs it from you. You are there to do it for each other.
Right.
And so just make sure that your mindset is right.
Okay.
And sometimes you will fail. Don't let failure define your moment.
Okay.
Don't let self-pity, push you so much to the background. Okay. Because failure is as transient as victory. They are both, transient. So if you are also victorious, if you are successful at doing something, share it with other people, because if you continue to, live in that glory, you might be pushed into complacency. Yeah. And when complacency sets in, your next, turn is extinction.
All right, so we should keep our mindset positive that we can do it. It's okay as a woman to get support. Lean on other women. Your support system is great. Family as a support and all of that. And do not be afraid of failure. We'll go for a break. Stick with me. So as we said, keep a positive mindset. It's okay to have a support system, and failure is part of the journey to victory. Also, it helps with avoid complacency. So yes, keep going, and there's so much you can do. Isn't this inspiring, ladies and gentlemen? Dr. Stella Agyenim-Boateng, I'm so honored to have you here, and I have a surprise for you. This is a gift. Here you go. Just to say thank you. It's from JN Products. Let me place it by you so you can sit comfortably.
Thank you very much, JN Products.
JN Products.
JN Products.
Yeah, so they are the producers of silky style products, and they have a wide range of products like disinfectants, liquid soap, shampoo, and so much more. Right. So we hope you try and love it and probably reach out for more.
Thank you.
And I spoke to you about a surprise.
Yes, you did.
Yes, somebody's going to give us a piece. She is called Efe. She is very talented, and she is a poet. Let's introduce Efe to give us this beautiful piece.
Irene Stella Agyenim-Boateng, Dr. Mrs., is a highly qualified C-suite human resource management executive offering over 30 years postgraduate professional working experience. Out of these years, Stella has spent 17 plus years in senior leadership roles at directorship levels. As I read these words, I said, damn, see, I want to be her when I grow up. Be the first name to pop up when I Google myself. She be inspirational, and inspiration helps you believe in yourself, teaches you how to find strength in places you didn't even know you had them. She is a woman. She is a mother, but not only to those she birthed, she is a lover. Where's her wedding band like emblem makes you believe that there is true love out there somewhere. See, she is nurturer. She is provider. The genesis to man's creation, so she doesn't let anyone spit on scripture. See, she is a believer, a true follower. But she is also creator, so you can call her God. See, she is a leader. She's like the Bible, a contradiction of ideologies. You need the Holy Spirit to understand her. For she is encourager, but she is fighter when the need arises. She be defender. She is just queen.
Let's take some parting words from you.
So I think that I will just advise that HR professionals, and for that matter, leadership generally, it's important to understand not only the organization of the business, but the business of the organization. So it is not just about structures, it's not just about processes, it's not just about the bureaucratic, the spans and layers, but it's about the reason the business exists. And so if you're an HR professional who doesn't understand the reason your business exists, then you cannot strategically support the business to, deliver. And so understand both the side of how do we maneuver, how do we restructure, how do we redeploy, get all those, but understand the core business, because that is when you can really be strategic. Again, it's important for all of us to know that you have to continuously improve your skills, because the skills that you have today may be obsolete tomorrow. And so if you do not continuously learn to upgrade yourself, learning is ongoing. And there is no reason why you cannot learn outside of the classroom. So at work, be ready to open yourself up, to receive feedback, to work on yourself. And finally, I'll say that for every individual, remember that SWOT analysis, and I love saying this because we always went, in school, we all studied SWOT analysis and we can write it, script upon script, but apply that same concept to yourself. Ask yourself today, what are the strengths that you have so that you can consolidate those strengths? What are the weaknesses that you have so you can fix them? What opportunities are out there that you can take advantage of them? And what are the threats that you've identified that you can ward off so that, your self-SWOT will determine your self-worth. And that is the value that is placed on you, and that is the value that you can also deliver to your organization.
Thank you so much. There's so much to learn from you, and I hope you come on the show again. This is The Real Show, and if you missed tonight's episode, you can catch up on Sunday, 3 p.m. and last week's episode tomorrow at 2 p.m. A big thank you, Dr. Mrs. Stella Agyenim-Boateng.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.